Yes. So we are all set. It's been live streamed. Welcome to the AVAZ team. And now I hand over to Meghna to start the session.
Good evening. Welcome to today. The topic we're exploring today is Introduction to AAC and AVAZ. And before we move into the presentation, allow me to introduce our esteemed speaker. We are delighted to have Ms. Lakshmi Kannan with us today. Ms. Lakshmi is an integral part of the customer service team of AVAZ, where she serves as the manager in charge of training and support coordination. With a master's degree in English, she is deeply passionate about emerging literacy and has dedicated to this field. Her expertise makes her the perfect person to guide us to today's topic. We're excited to hear from Ms. Lakshmi and know that we're in great hands for the session. We also have with us Mr. Asif, who is part of the support team at AVAS. A warm welcome to all of you. A quick reminder to all the participants, any questions or clarifications? Any questions or clarifications will be sent towards the end of the session. And please feel free to drop me your questions in the chat box, ask them at the end. And feel free to ask your questions in Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, or English. Without further ado, I now welcome Ms. Lakshmi Kannan to begin the presentation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Meghna. Thank you, Gauri ma'am, for the kind introduction. My name is Lakshmi Kannan and I coordinate trainings at AVAS. With me, I have my colleague, Mr. Asif, who coordinates support at AVAS. Today, we are here to give you a quick view of a small intro to AAC and a few thoughts on what is AVAS and how useful it is for children. I'm going to share my screen across first. Give me a second when I do that. So, today's agenda will be speaking about what is AAC. We'll be speaking about a few myths which are around us. We'll be looking at a small brief demo of ours and we'll look at a few user videos. Post this, we'll be having a question answer session where we can share all your questions and we'll have them answered. So let's start with a very beautiful video of a small little child, Kyra.
I want to the mulberry bush.
To the mulberry bush, yes, come on! Here we go now, the mulberry bush, mulberry bush.
So that was Kyra. He started AVAZ when he was 6, and within few days, within 2 weeks, he made his first request. And this was his first request to his mother. His mother was very happy because she didn't expect a very quick, small success in the child. Today, he goes to an inclusive school and he's doing great. So, let's start with the basic question of why do we communicate? We communicate because we have a lot of things to say, right? We usually greet people, we ask a lot of questions, or we share comments, or we have complaints to make. We have a lot of instructions to give. So there are lots of things which we do when we are with others to build in a social bonding, right? While we do this, how do we usually communicate? The most famous mode or the form of communication is speech. Most of us, 80% of us, use speech. But is that all about communication? No. There are a few people who use gestures. There are a few people who are long distance. So assume you have a person in US or you have a person in Dubai. What do? You send them a message, right? So even that is a form of communication. You send them a written message by WhatsApp or by bottom or by email. So all that is also a form of communication. While we do this, there are also other forms of communication like you have AAC. So you have picture cards, holodeck boards. So all these are various forms of communication. When we say communication, it includes speech, it includes language. So let's get into how complex that entire system is. So what do we do when we, communicate with someone? We first notice them, look at what they want to say, how they want to, how they want to express themselves or what they want to ask. We understand the meaning of it. And then we frame our meaning, we frame our understanding, we frame our words into a proper grammatical sentence, and then we say it out with the right expression, right grammar, right way. And then again, we wait for the other person to respond to it. And then we again reply to it, right? So this is a complex process which happens as a cognitive one. When we speak about the motor of part of it, it is said to say a single yes, there are about 100 muscles from your lungs to your mouth. So you will have to use 100 muscles. None of us would ever think to use 100 muscles, right? So 100 muscles are used. We really don't know where and how children or AC users really have issue with. If they have any small issue with the cognitive process, if it's taking a little longer, or if they have issues with the muscles, which doesn't, produce the right sounds, or they have some small problem which we can't identify in detail. So by end result, what happens is they can't communicate, or rather they can't speak. Here we're going to look at Advait and see what all he's requesting.
Yes. I want actions. Swimming. I want swimming.
Adu wants swimming.
I want food. Pavaka. I want pavaka.
Adu want pavika. We'll make pavika.
I want actions. Rhymes. Flower song. I want flower song.
Adu want flower song. Yeah? Yeah. Adu, today for outdoor activities, Adu want cycling or roller skating. Which one you want? Select.
Roller skates.
Or Adu
So that was Advait. Today he's a young entrepreneur, special Olympic gold medalist. He's an athlete himself. So his mother has customized AVAZ for him, and he uses AVAZ to communicate and speak about
Yes.
all his wants and
I.
needs. So what are these communication challenges in specific? They may be, they may have difficulties in speech or any language development. They may not be like speaking even a word. They may have unclear speech. They may use single words. They may, have a little language delays or delayed development, the global delayed development usually which children have. They may pick up speech at a very later stage with lots of support and therapy. So when they have this inability to, verbally express their needs, wants, or thoughts, that's exactly where we are into a space of having a big communication challenge. So there's a very famous saying, just because I can't talk doesn't mean that I have nothing to say. Yes, just because they don't talk doesn't mean they don't have to say. They have a lot of things to tell you. What happens when they can't tell you is they feel very frustrated. They feel very excluded from their peer group. Their self-confidence and their self-esteem like really goes down, and they lose, independence, and they have very limited access to whatever they can do. To say they can't achieve their own potential. When we are talking about all this, I would like to state that I'm a special mom and a educator too. I have seen my child being in a social space with his cousins or with his people, being a twin child. I've always felt that he has never got that equal space with all other children usually get. So I have seen him being angry many a times when he can't communicate right things at the right time. Rather, when his other brothers and sisters have his favorite food or they play around, he will always feel very, very frustrated because he can't participate. So he usually is not himself many a times, right? That is the inability which it leads to. There's again a very famous saying by Daniel. He says, if all my possessions were taken from me, with one exception, I would choose to keep the power of communication. For by it, I will soon regain all the rest. So when we say, I have lots of possessions, I have lots of things, communication is the key to everything. If I have the key to communicate or express myself, I can get all my powers back, possessions back. So, what's the solution when you have communication challenges? You see children with communication challenges. We uh, give them AAC, augmentative and alternative communication. When we say AAC, when we say augmentative, it may be for a small time, say 3-4 years, especially for children who have global development delays or children on the spectrum. They may have their language development a little slow. So we use AAC as the augmentative medium. For children like mine who have CP or they have severe multiple disability, they can't speak even one word. They use it as alternative mode of communication. How are these forms rather done? Like if it is not oral speech, what else they do? They use sign language, they use specs, they use picture boards, they use AAC apps like AVAZ to express themselves. They tell their needs, wants, they whatever they feel or ideas they want to, anything they want to tell you, they will surely use AAC. So here is a very beautiful video from Aditi.
T H A Thank U A V A Z. Finding your voice is liberating and cathartic. Thank you, AVAZ.
So this is Aditi. She's a young adult who's 16 years old today, and she's a very famous writer. She is part of the Talking Fingers initiative. She's written many books. She's an official blogger of AVAZ. She writes short stories on our webpage every fortnight. So you can go to our website and look out for her stories too. Here she says, finding your voice is liberating and cathartic. Thank you, Avaz. She found her voice with Avaz, and she really loves that. While we talk about AAC, there are various types and forms of it. Like when we say types, even sign language is AAC. You use gestures, which are like unaided. There's no technology behind it. Correct? There are aided AACs like low-tech boards, picture cards, or the spellers boards, the communication charts, or text, or any symbols, or big pictures stuck. All these are low-tech. When we say high-tech, a high-tech AAC is like AVAZ, which is a speech-generating device. So when we say communication apps like AVAZ as in high-tech AAC, this has picture and text-based communication. This is again, this can be, localized for different languages. This has a lots of vocabulary inside. It has inbuilt about 4,000, 5,000 words, about 65,000 symbol tricks. And it can, start with the step of communication, start with the step of pictures where children can associate it with actual objects and actual spaces, and then move on to the text-based communication of literacy, and and taking the next step of getting into the space of literacy, which leads to inclusive education. So it starts with communication and it goes until literacy. That is where we see our children growing in the right space. Let's hear to a beautiful Ava story before we go forward.
So AVAZ is basically a picture-based communication and learning tool for children with speech disabilities, children with autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, or intellectually delayed development. These children use AVAZ to communicate their needs, express themselves, and you can, as a teacher or as a parent, you can use this to teach concepts to the child as well. So I can see the word I or see the picture and I can tap on that. I say want pizza.
Pizza.
And then I can tap on this to say
I want pizza.
we have seen kids who are like 4 at the age of 3-4 using AVAZ, and then slowly as the child's capabilities grow, AVAZ can adapt to their needs. So if their vocabulary grows, you can add more words to it. We have customized AVAZ for 6 regional languages of India.
Some parents believe that they know what their child is trying to say, so why use an app? But the reality is often they can never get the specifics right.
Most of the parents have this problem. They are not able to identify what happened to the child, why the child is having a breakdown. Yesterday whole night he didn't have good sleep, so morning he was not able to eat anything. I thought he has got some stomach problem, so I gave him all the options. So, are you happy, are you sad, are you not well? So he typed the option, I'm not well. Are you in pain? He said yes. I said which pain? So he said throat. So I came to know that is the problem.
When you give a child the tools to communicate, they will surprise you. They will prove to you that they can communicate not just to you but to a much broader section of society, and really taking control of their own destiny in a way that you would never have imagined if you did not give that technology to them.
Yeah, that was a very quick, a small short story about AVAZ from the AVAZ team, our CEO, Mr. Narayanan, and our founder, Mr. Ajit. So, yes, true. As a parent, I have really felt that multiple times. If that technology was not available for my child, he would have really never got a chance to, immediately start up. Start giving answers. So when I started AVAZ for my child who was 2.5 years old, I also had doubts like everyone else. And slowly, when I saw him growing, in just few months, I saw him choosing from multiple words. I saw him giving answers for multiple questions at one shot. By the time he was 5.5, he could answer up to 20-25 questions at one shot. So it was nothing less than a magic for a parent like me to see my child equipped with the right technology and, giving them that energy and that space of communicating. Because at the age of 2.5, he could only say Amma. I really was very worried of how is it that I can give him that power of communication. So when I saw him growing with AVAZ and using AVAZ, I was super happy and confident that yes, my child someday will be independent, will have that voice of himself very soon. Okay, let's go ahead. Here is a very beautiful thought from Surya. Surya is a young adult from Vidyasagar, Chennai, and his mother is a very amazing person who was very closely working with him for 16 years. He never communicated with anybody else except his mom, and his mom always thought, I know everything about my son, just like how most of us think. that I know everything about my child and I understand my child the best. So one day she went to the shop and she bought a blue color shirt for him. She came home and she said, "Hey, look, Surya, I've got a blue color shirt for you." And the child turned to Avaz and went to the colors folder and chose red. And then mom asked, "Oh, you like red color, is it?" And he said, "Yes." That was the day when she realized that, oh my God, I've been thinking my son likes blue color for such a long time, wherein my son likes red color. She immediately ran to the shop. She bought a red color shirt for him. And she was very happy that day to share the story with us to say, hey, this is the first time my child specifically told his preference to me. And it really means a lot to me. And very soon after that, they saw a very beautiful family bonding within them. He would never have communicated to his father because they never had a common language, like a common way to express themselves. And normally when children don't speak, others don't tend to talk to them because they don't speak. So normally they'll be very, very alone and nobody would talk to them. After using Avaz, his father would share his thoughts, ask questions, and he would use Avaz to speak to him. And that really made her very happy. It is not only his father, even his grandmother loved, being with him alone. He, had a lot of independent, talks, and he stayed alone with his grandmother to, help and tell her what he wants in specific. So all his skills also improved and his literacy skills were improving very well. Today we have a government order where you can use Avaz to write exams in India. So we have a lot of children who are going to NIOS and writing exams using Avaz. We start with communication, which is the basic right, and we gradually go ahead for right to education. They get a chance for lots of social interaction, class participation, and they develop literacy very, very, very well. So, what are the benefits of AAC? As you saw Surya, as you saw my child, we saw them being a little confident, little independent. They have made social relationship with others in the family, others outside. They had a lot of class participation. They did very good at academics. They, had lots of opportunities where they can, improvise on or be an independent person and have control on. There are lots of children they feel very frustrated when they can't communicate. We have seen a lot of children, calm down after starting Avaz in a very few weeks itself. So overall, it improves the quality of life, their dignity, and they're included in many social spaces. Let's look at a few videos of Avaz users.
अपनी जेब से फकीर है किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निशान हमको मिली है आज नटना कर दुख भंजन.
So that's a little Aditi who's playing Antarakshari with her mom, where mom sings the second line and then she sings the first line of that song. They are playing Antarakshari using Avaz. Mother has customized the entire folder with all her favorite songs.
Hi. Voice. Amma, don't raise voice.
Then why? How you listen?
So that's little Mithil. Once he got home and his mother was very, very upset with him because he had not listened and she was shouting at him. And he went to Avaz and said, Amma, don't raise your voice. So she's arguing back, saying, if I don't raise my voice, how is it that you will listen to me?
I'm
Let's listen to the mom of Advait. We saw his video a few minutes back. Let's see his mom's journey of Avaz.
Smriti. I'm a parent of an ASD child. My son Advait got the diagnosis of autism when he was 2.3 years. After that, we started doing early intervention programs, but all the therapists were pushing him to talk by considering speech as the primary form of communication, and that created lots of behavioral issues in my son because he was unable to produce sounds and joining words, and that created lots of stress in my family also. At that time, I attended a workshop about Avas and I tried Avas with my son. And when he got a voice through Avas, he was very happy and he became a confident child and he started communicating with everyone effectively. We were able to understand about his needs, about his difficulties, about his interest, and that really helped me to plan a proper program for my son to find his strengths and to help him to lead an independent life. Being a nonverbal child, he was excluded from many places by thinking that he is unable to do that. But using Avas, he was showing that he is capable and he can learn and understand things. He was attending online classes using Avas. He started typing using Avas and he started communicating it in all the places including post office, restaurants, during our travel, and that really helped us to improve our quality of life. I started empowering other parents to understand the use of this, and it is really a very good tool for children with autism.
So that was a small video from Smriti Rajesh, who is a very, very sweet parent who started Avaz at a very early stage for Advait, customized Avaz. And today she is a great influencer and a parent who is, mentoring a lot of parents to empower the child.
I'm Smriti.
Let's move forward and do other myths and facts. Let's hear to the famous myths and what the actual facts are. Post this, we'll have a 10-minute small Q&A session to answer all the questions until now. And then we'll go ahead with other things. Okay?
Next, we will be looking at the common myths that surround the use of AAC, and we will also be looking at the facts, the real facts. So the first myth that we have here is that AAC hinders speech development, and when the user is given AAC, it reduces his motivation to attempt speech. So this probably is the most common of all the myths that surround AAC, and this really is a myth because research has shown us time and again that AAC does not hinder speech development. So it does not interfere with speech development at all. So in fact, it has the opposite effect. So when a person is given an AAC, it has been found that there is an increase in their verbalizations, vocalizations, and speech imitations. So let me just tell you why. So when the person uses AAC, he or she does not have this pressure that they have to speak in order to communicate, right? So when they have the AAC, they can talk with their AAC, and speech, there is no pressure to speak. So this by itself is a motivator to attempt speech. So the other other example I could give you is that when the person uses a high-tech AAC like Avaz, they hear the audio output that comes from the app. and many a time they try to imitate the speech output. And this we have seen in clinical practice also, that when they start imitating the speech output from a high-tech device, there is definitely an increase in their speech output. And many parents have also told us that this is the case. So we can rest assured that using AAC definitely does not interfere with speech development at all. The next myth that we have here is one which says that AAC adds to screen time. So this might be a common concern for a parent whose child might use high-tech AAC like AVAZ. But when we think of screen time is screen time only when we use it for the purpose of entertainment, for leisure, right? So when the person is viewing a YouTube, when he's viewing a cartoon, so he's just passively involved with the screen, and that is screen time. Whereas when the person is using a tablet for communication, when he's using an AAC app in a tablet for communication, that is communication time. That is his voice. And this definitely cannot be taken up as screen time, because that is the way in which he communicates. So this again is a myth. The third one we have here is that many people feel that AAC should be introduced only as the last resort. So when there is no hope for speech at all, only then we turn towards AAC. This again is a myth, because AAC and speech therapy can be given simultaneously. So for the same child, both can be given simultaneously, and it has been found that both complement each other. So the child who is receiving AAC might have a lot of language input that might help him with his speech therapy sessions as well. Right. And apart from improvement in the language area, we have found that AAC also brings about an overall development in the child. Like there is an improvement in the emotional development, the social development change, the social development happens. There is an improvement in the cognitive development, and many positive behavioral changes are seen when the individual starts using AAC for communication. And all of us are multimodal communicators, right? So if we want to talk to someone, if we want to communicate to someone, of course we speak, but also we gesture, we might use our body language, our facial expression, our eye movements, we might text people. So when we are using multimodal communication, it is only fair that we give the same chance to a person who has communication impairment. So we should definitely encourage multimodal communication in those individuals as well. And AAC and speech should definitely be encouraged. The last myth that we have for today is that which states that AAC is meant only for higher functioning clients, or it can only be used when the individual has good cognition. Again, this is a myth, because AAC does not require any prerequisites for its usage. So when we find out that the person has a communication impairment and we want to start off rehabilitation, then and there we can give the person an AAC and we can start the rehabilitation process from there. So using AAC does not require any prerequisite at all. Dr. David, who is an educationalist from the West, rightly says that nobody is too anything to be able to read and write. So everybody can be given a chance to read and write. And in the same way, everybody can be given a chance to use AAC right from the start. I think with this, we are able to bust some common myths that surround AAC usage. Next, we will be looking at the common myths that surround.
Yeah. So before we go ahead, I would like to, ask if we have any questions but we can take a few questions before we proceed forward with the demo. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to ask, or ask on uh, uh, any questions you have on Avaz on the chat window.
Lakshmi, there's one from Mr. Rajshekhar Nayak. He says, Hi, ma'am, my elder son is having cerebral palsy with GDD and currently we stay in Pune. Please advise. And the child is 5 years and 8 months old.
Oh, nice.
Mr. Rajshekhar, if you want, you can even unmute and talk, sir. If there's
Sure.
anything specific. Even others, you can unmute and ask your questions in the language you're comfortable in. Ma'am, you can
Shall I
continue.
answer the question?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
okay?
please.
Yes. So, you said your child is 5 years old. By now, you would have surely gone to multiple places to get the assessment done. You would have started your physiotherapy. You would have got into the occupation therapy. I would like to know a few more details about your son. If you're sending your child to a special school, or what is it that you're doing for his communication space? If you're not doing anything on the space of communication or speech, I would recommend you go and go to a speech therapist. We can recommend a few people for you in Pune where you can reach out to them for help, and they'll help you with setting up Avaz for a child. Usually, children with CP have very excellent IQ. So that's a blessing which they have, and they acquire language very, very fast. I was very lucky to have my child who had very good IQ. Although he had motor issues, his IQ level really helped him learn a lot of things very fast. He could not speak, but he used Avaz very quickly. In a span of 2 months, I saw him, choosing from 24 to 30 pictures, 30 choices which we could give for one questions. So I recommend you start using Avaz. You can download Avaz from the Avaz, from the Google Play Store for a free 14-day trial. We'll surely leave our numbers on the common space here in the chat window. You can reach out to us, to me or to Mr. Asif, and we'll surely help you on that front.
Thanks, ma'am. In addition to that, right? So let's say he's having the vision issues also, which means right that is not up to the mark. So in that case, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, vision issues in that case. Please complete your question, sir.
So if the vision is having the problem, right? Again, if how the hours will help him because of the audio.
Shall I take this question, Lakshmi?
Can I ask one next question to it? When you speak about vision, can I ask if it is just a low vision, or if it is very difficult for him to see? Like, is he using any phones or tabs currently?
No, the screen time is totally zero now.
Totally zero. Okay. So his vision is very low. That's what you think. You've got a message about it? Yes?
Yeah, he will understand very well.
He'll understand very well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asif, please go ahead. You wanted to answer it?
Yes. Hi, Rajshekhar, Asif here from Avaz team. And, the Avaz app has varying visual capabilities inside it. For instance, if a child has a low vision issue, then you can set something called as a zoom setting. You can enlarge pictures on selection. When you tap on image, it actually enlarges, it zooms in and zooms out. Then you have a contrast setting wherein you can just make the background dark, to provide some more support for the child's view. And you can also go for larger image size through setting the number of pictures per screen. So ideally, if the child is able to scan properly, we go with say 24 or 40 pictures per screen. But if you feel that there are visual issues and challenges, then you can put up say 2 pictures per screen, 4 pictures per screen, and you can do so. A varying amount of visual capabilities is there inside the app, and you should be able to use it more effectively.
Okay, that works,
I would
ma'am.
like
Thank
to,
you.
I would like to add a point to it. Sir, as a parent myself and as a teacher, we'll have to consider a very strong point. The strong point which we should consider on doing anything for our child is we should look at what great strength our child has, then what he can't do. You will have to find out what is it that is very, very convenient for him. If he can use a braille, or if he can use a auditory function, or if he can there are lots of other additional accessibilities which we get nowadays. So what is it that is perfectly setting up with him? So you can get in touch with a OT or a physiotherapist to find out what his strength is and then work on that side for him.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. So currently, he's undergoing for a physio, but speech delay and the vision problem is there. So we'll have to work on that. So thanks for the input. We'll have to try to, install the application, start using it.
Sure, sir. Yes, thank you. There's another
Thanks.
one question on our chat window, and that's from Priyanka. She's saying, my child is a CP child and no head control. Which are the exercise, ma'am? My child name is Nandishwaran, 5 years old. Priyanka, today we're going to talk about communication challenges. Basically, we're going to talk about AVAZ, which helps with speech difficulties. Okay, so when we speak about no head control, it is very commonly seen in children with CP. You don't have to worry. You can use a corner chair and a belt which can hold the child. There are various accessibilities in AVAS where you can, use the first finger touch or the last finger touch or last one touch, or you can use some headbands, or you can even, use some switches which would help the child use any technology and communicate. Yeah. So when we speak about children in India, the awareness is very, very less. And we usually, when we have a child with special needs, we usually focus on physical disabilities a little more. We tend to look at that side. But it is very important that we look at the communication part also. As a parent, at 2.5 years, when I had my daughter who was typical and my son who was a special child with CP, I saw my child, suffering a lot of things. First was, while I was looking for a school for my daughter to, pursue education, I was searching for a therapy center for my son. There was a point where I thought this is not right of choosing things what matches him, rather choosing things which is very important for him at his particular age. So that is when I searched for a special school which can give him special education as equal to my typical child. And when I reached a special school and they recommended special education, they had therapy centers there. So I gave him therapy and special education equally. While I started giving physiotherapy from the age of 6 months itself, it until 2.5 years, I had no idea of communication is very important. One specific thing, there were many instances as such. One instances, it was his birthday, like my twin's birthday, second birthday. We got a beautiful, we got 2 cakes on our table, and I had both children next to me. I was standing next to them. My son was in my hands, and my daughter was standing on a chair, and we were clicking a photo. While everybody was posing for the photo, my son was very curiously looking at the cake. Until that was the first time when I thought he was trying to say he wanted cake then. And I was looking at taking photos. I did not consider his wants or needs because he did not open his mouth, like he could not speak to me. There were many such instances in my life where I felt if my son got a chance to communicate, if my son who could, tell me, voice out and tell me what he wants in specific, I would have done that. There are many, many, many such instances. So one of such instances that when I looked at that photo, I realized he wanted to eat cake and I was conscious about taking photos. So If and only if he had the power of communication, if he had communication, he would have told me that he wanted to eat the cake, right? The same way, our children may not speak because of some reasons, cognitive reasons, or any kinds of disabilities or any development delays, but they have a lot of things which they try to communicate. We usually think we understand them. We 60%, 65% guess, assume things, but until specifically they tell us, we will never know what is it they want. For example, assume I'll tell you a live case which happened with one of our children. One child who was 10 years old used AVAZ at home. She was homeschooled for 2 years. Her mother wanted her to go to a school, so she put her into a typical government school. The child was on the spectrum, and that was the first time she's going to school at 10. She was very, very happy because she never had friends. She never went outside home. She doesn't have any social circle. But as she's not speaking, she doesn't even have that space to tell others what she thinks. So she has only her mother, and her mother, who is very educated and very good person, helped her with teaching, like learning AVAZ. So they went to a school. She was convincing the school. The mother was convincing the school to have the child. The principal was convinced. The teacher she was talking to and arguing with that her child deserves to stay at a typical school. And the teacher was asking her, how can a child use tab to talk? It will not accommodate in the class. So they were having an argument with it. While they were having this argument, the other children who were sitting there in the class were eating their snacks because it was break time. And out of which many were eating biscuits. So she came, she pulled out AVAZ from her bag. She said, I want biscuits. Her mother, we mothers always carry a big bag with lots of snacks inside, right? Like, so she also pulled out the box of biscuits and she opened it and gave it to her. She immediately nodded her head, said no. Again, she opened AVAZ. She went to her snacks folder. She was scrolling, searching for something. She couldn't find it. Now the mother is confused. The teacher is confused because they didn't know what is it the child wants. When she said, I want biscuits, she was very specific, right? So what is it that the child wants? And then the child from picture, she went to keyboard and she said Oreo, Oreo. She wanted specifically only the Oreo biscuits. How specific the child was in telling the mother what she wants. Assume, think. Now, the child can't talk. Child doesn't have AVAZ, but child wants Oreo biscuits. What will you do? Will you wait for the child to develop speech for 10 more years? Or as like the mother, you will stand beside the child and say, yes, my child needs a mode of communication. I will help my child to communicate. What is that you will choose? I choose to be like that mother. I want to give that power of communication to my child. If my child wants to say something to me, I will stand by my child and give that power of communication. And after seeing this, the teacher was so convinced, she added her to the class, and then they had the next problem. Next problem the teacher stated was, how do I stop children from using the tab in the class? Her mother said, you give me only 1 day's time. I'll sit with the child for only 1 day and I'll set right the class for you. And that problem never will occur again. That 1 day during the break times, the mother sat with the peer group and said, if you want to talk to the child, you also use AVAZ to talk to the child. She will reply back to you with AVAZ. And then children started using the tab to speak to the child and made friends with her. So see how that entire space around the child has changed. Don't you think the child has that right to communicate with her peer group? Don't you think the child has that right to have friends? I truly think the child deserves to be in a social space with friends. Only just because she can't talk doesn't mean she doesn't have rights, right? Rights to get educated, or rights to have friends, or right to be with others. So, what is it that is important? At the right age, give them education. They have special needs, cater to their special needs. But typically at whatever age, whatever things have to be given, education, literacy, Skills, please give it. Children need them all. They may not have a reason to communicate. They may not have a way to communicate it to you, but they will surely strongly have that urge to learn at that particular age. So, as you speaking about many children here who don't have head control or can't talk, can't walk, can't speak, no problem. Start with AAC, start with special education. They will very soon learn to communicate with you in a better space, better way. Yeah. So,
I
okay.
think there was another person who had raised their hand. If you want to
Yeah,
unmute
sure.
and ask.
Yes. Yes.
हाय मैम, गुड इवनिंग।
Good evening, sir. Yes.
बोल रहा हूँ मैम। अभी इतने सारे पेरेंट्स के क्वेश्चन आए किसी चाइल्ड को लेकर के या
हाँ, हाँ,
कम्युनिकेशन लेकर के, तो हमें
हाँ,
एक बात ध्यान में रखनी होगी कि
हाँ,
ऐप या टोटल कम्युनिकेशन जो अप्रोच है वो हर कोई जानता नहीं। आवाज के बारे में अवेयरनेस बहुत कमी है। एक आप टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद लेकर के थेरेपी सेंटर में
हाँ,
बहुत और
हाँ,
अल्टरनेटिव, हमने आवाज के बारे में सुना है, तो उनको ट्रेन या उसके बारे में सोचने के ऊपर सोचने लगेंगे वो। तो मुझे
हाँ,
लगता है कि पेरेंट्स आपको अपने अपने सेंटर में जा करके आवाज के
हाँ,
बारे में बताना चाहिए, ताकि
हाँ,
वो कुछ भी ट्रेनिंग ले, उनको भी पता हो कि टेक्नोलॉजी से हम
हाँ,
किसी या ऑटिज्म
हाँ,
बच्चे इस तरीके
हाँ,
से करवा सकते हैं। कम्युनिकेशन
हाँ,
बहुत ही, और जैसे
हाँ,
मैं लक्ष्मी मैम के आवाज की टीम के टच में हूँ, हमारे सेंटर में हम आवाज ऐप यूज
हाँ,
करते हैं,
हाँ,
हमें रिजल्ट हमने देखे हैं। तो एज ए
हाँ,
पेरेंट आपको अपनी एडवोकेसी करनी पड़ेगी। आपको अपने बच्चे के राइट के लिए जिस भी सेंटर में जाते हो, आपको उनसे पूछना पड़ेगा कि और क्या अल्टरनेटिव हो सकता है। अगर आप एक पेरेंट ने आज ये वर्कशॉप अटेंड किया है, तो आपको जाके अगर बताना चाहिए कि बोलो बोलो करने से बच्चे नहीं बोलते, बच्चे कम्युनिकेशन करते हैं पहले, कि का कोई मतलब नहीं है।
थैंक यू सर। सच है, बोलो करके बोलो, अगर वो बोल सकते तो एसी यूज करने की जरूरत ही नहीं आएगी। आपको लगता है कोई भी बच्चा आइसक्रीम पार्लर में जाके आइसक्रीम चाहिए बोलने से पहले आपको आवाज चाहिए, एसी चाहिए, एसी निकालिए, उसमें जाके आइसक्रीम चाहिए करके बोलेगा? नहीं, हम भी वैसे ही हैं, समझिए। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, assume we are having a root canal done. You have stitches on your teeth. If you can talk, you will want to talk. Why use an AAC? I used AAC when I had a root canal done. I had six stitches on my teeth then. So if I can talk, why will I use AAC? This goes the same with the child. So if the child can talk, the child will very consciously make efforts. Don't at all think the child is lazy or they don't want to talk. They want to talk. Because of some reasons, they are unable to. Help them do it. Help them, give them speech therapy, give them AAC, give them both powers together. We have seen children who have started using AAC and gradually developing on their speech very, very fast. So there are research papers who prove that also. We'll share that with you if you want. Yeah.
एक और लास्ट लाइन है।
हाँ, हाँ,
काफी सारे बड़े बच्चों से मिला हूँ जिनका एज 15, 16, 17, 18 साल हो गया है।
हाँ,
मदर और उनकी फैमिली से बात करके एक बात समझ में आई कि
हाँ,
बच्चे पर बहुत दबाव डाला गया। बच्चा बोला भी नहीं, बट अब वो
हाँ,
कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पा रहा है। अगर
हाँ,
आप इसे कम्युनिकेशन पर काम नहीं करोगे, अगर आपका बच्चा 2 साल, 3, 4, 5 का है, चल करके बहुत चैलेंज आ सकते हैं। ये मैंने रिसेंट फैमिली से मिल करके आइडेंटिफाई किया है कि आगे चल आती है विदाउट कम्युनिकेशन के बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं बच्चे, और बच्चे अपनी बात ना बताने की वजह से बहुत ज्यादा अंदर से परेशान होते हैं। कम्युनिकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और मैंने अपने EIC अर्ली इंटरवेंशन सेंटर में 50 के साथ आवाज ऐप अब तक हमने यूज किया है। अमेजिंग, और बच्चे बोले भी हैं। बच्चों में
वो नहीं सर।
आई थिंक अगर आप इसमें पेरेंट्स हैं तो प्लीज आपको कम्युनिकेशन पे फोकस करना चाहिए। बोलने की चिंता एक तरफ छोड़ दो, कम्युनिकेशन मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट है। थैंक यू मैम।
हाँ, थैंक यू सर। इसमें और एक बात भी है, बहुत सारे लोग ये भी सोचते हैं कि क्या जल्दी है, हम थोड़ा वेट कर लेते हैं, थोड़े साल वेट कर लेते हैं। जैसे आपने कहा, नॉर्मली लोग 7 साल 8 साल तक वेट करते हैं, उसके बाद कम्युनिकेशन स्टार्ट करते हैं, ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम। अगर आप 10 साल वेट करते हैं, उसके बाद 20 साल, हमारे पास ऐसे भी पेरेंट्स हैं जो 30 साल से ऊपर हैं, उनके बच्चे जिनको कम्युनिकेट करना बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है, दे जस्ट वांट अ लॉट ऑफ हेल्प टू कम्युनिकेट देमसेल्फ, एंड देन दे स्टार्ट यूजिंग एएसी एट दैट पॉइंट। तो कोई भी प्री रिक्विजिट नहीं है कि बस इतना इतना एज होना चाहिए, यू शुड बी ऑफ दिस एज, यू शुड हैव एटलीस्ट डन दिस, इतना स्पीच थेरेपी देना चाहिए, या इतने सालों तक आपको वेट करना चाहिए, ऐसे कोई भी रूल नहीं है। 10 महीने का बच्चा हो गया, 2 साल, नॉर्मली इंडिया में जो है 2 साल तक वेट करते हैं, अंटिल द चाइल्ड इज 2 दे स्टार्ट वेटिंग, आफ्टर 2 years they start giving therapies. So once they are 2, if the child is not talking even the basic small words which they use at home, please don't hesitate, reach out for help. पेरेंट्स, किसी भी एज में अगर आपको लग रहा है आपका बच्चा बोल नहीं पा रहा है, आपको हेल्प चाहिए, डोंट हेजिटेट टू रीच आउट फॉर हेल्प फॉर फ्रॉम एनी स्पेशल स्कूल और एनी स्पीच थेरेपिस्ट, दे वुड लव टू हेल्प यू।
राजीव जी, मैं एक पॉइंट यहाँ पे ऐड करना चाहूंगा, बहुत सिंपल सा, मैं एक सेंटेंस में आपको बोलना चाहता हूँ। अगर बच्चा बात कर पाएगा तो बात करके ही चीजें मांगेगा, ठीक है। अगर वो नहीं कर पाएगा तो उसको एएसी चाहिए, एज सिंपल एज दैट। इफ द चाइल्ड इज एबल टू स्पीक, she will definitely speak and ask for things and communicate. If they're not able to, then it is our responsibility as trusted adults to give them access to an AAC app like AVAZ. As simple as that. Thanks for asking a question. Thanks.
Thank you. So we are going to go ahead with the presentation and watch a few more videos about the features demo, learn a few more very basic important things, and then we're going to take a little more questions at the end of the session. Hope that works.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, if we use if aged children will get any language again, see, once we adapt, we can also using this one some communication purpose only. But once we adapt, this speech will get less. No, speech.
Sir. Speech will develop because AAC has, high-tech AAC has two things. It has a visual reinforcement. Matlab, whatever they are tapping, the word will zoom out, right? It's a visual reinforcement. It also has an auditory reinforcement. Matlab, whatever, assume you're taking a child to a speech therapy and they are like teaching a few words. Okay, say mummy or say apple. Okay. They will have to tell that word 50 times, 100 times throughout the day in the same slang, same sound. Loud enough.
Okay, ma'am.
As a human, it's very difficult for us. But when they use AAC, we have seen children, when they tap apple, if you teach apple for 10, 15 times, we have seen children tapping apple and then uttering the same word. We have seen children, who try to utter the same word along with the AAC. So it has really supported. It will never ever stop speech. As I told you, please don't hesitate on that part, because if you can talk, you will not use in AAC, right? That goes even for us. We will not, if you have a person in front of you, instead of talking, will you think of sending a WhatsApp message? You won't, right? You will talk to them. Correct? So they will not use an AAC. They will talk to you directly. If that is possible, they will not use an AAC.
Yes.
Yes. So let's go for, thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and watch demo first, and then we'll take few more questions. Yeah.
So next, let us look at some important features of AVAZ. We will be looking at some important settings. So this is my AVAZ, and here I choose the menu button, choose the settings, go all the way down, select change languages, and here I have a so many different options, so many different languages to choose from. So here I choose English US and I say next. And here I have the US version right here. So let us look at some important features under the settings menu. So that can be found under the menu button. So let me go and press the menu. Press settings. And here under the picture settings appearance, I have the first feature that we'll be looking at today, which is the pictures per screen grid size. So when I select it, I can see that there are many different options to choose from. So I can choose as less as one picture, which looks like this, or I can choose the maximum grid size, which looks like this. So parents often are confused about the grid size that might suit client, their child. So our recommendation would be to go with the maximum vocabulary that the child is able to handle, in the sense, the maximum, give them the maximum number of words. Right. So when the child wants to communicate, he should have access to all the words to be able to communicate his thoughts. So give him the maximum vocabulary. And so one consideration could be the picture size should be something that the child is able to see as well as touch. I often have other parents asking us whether it is possible to start with the 4 pictures per screen, and once the child gets comfortable, then could we possibly increase the screen size? So what will happen is, like, once we change the grid size, you can see that the location of pictures keep changing. Can you see that? So as we change the grid size, the location of the pictures will keep on changing. And this can be frustrating for a child, because every time he has to look for a picture, scan it, and then he has to select. So once he's used to a particular grid size, we recommend not to change it time and again. So go with the maximum vocabulary possible, and it is advisable not to change the grid size. So the next feature that we will be looking at is the enlarge on selection, the zoom feature. So this is under the picture settings behavior. So when we select this option, we can see again we have many options here. So when we choose enlarge at normal speed, let's see what happens. So here, if I were to select a particular symbol,
Stop.
You can see that the icon comes out and then goes inside. It zooms out and zooms in. So this is very helpful to get the child's visual attention. So children with autism, children with hyperactivity, or even children with visual impairment may find this feature very helpful, because it gets the child's attention to the picture, to the symbol that has been selected. So that is the enlarge on the zoom feature, and it is very useful for getting the child's visual attention. The next feature that we will be looking at under settings is the theme. So that again is under picture settings appearance. We have the theme here. So we have 3 options to choose from, and I have chosen the classic light. So when I select the dark, you can see that the background changes. And when I select the outer space, you can see that the look of the app changes totally. And how does this help the user? So we have a contrast background, right? So the background is totally black, and the picture is made more visible because the background is black. So this is definitely useful for any user who has visual challenges, and they will definitely benefit from this feature. So let me go back and change mine back to light. The next feature that we will be looking at is the swipe action to navigate. So that is again under picture settings behavior. So it is here. So I have my swipe action to navigate switched on. So this is just the scrolling that we do with any touch phone, right? So if we want to look at what is there on the screen, we go ahead and scroll it. But this might be difficult for any user who has motor challenges. They may not be able to scroll through the screen. So for specifically for those with fine motor issues, we have some buttons here in the navigation bar that says previous and next. So that is just by pressing the buttons, next, I can go ahead and scroll the screen, or I can use the previous. So this way I can navigate the screen even if I have fine motor concern. So this is very useful for any user with a fine motor difficulty. Those were some important features under the settings menu. So there are some more important features under the edit button. So let's see. So I go and select the menu. I choose edit words. And here, let us just try to create a folder. Let's just try to create a new folder. So I just scroll this side so that I get more space. And let's say that I want to create a new folder called as favorite TV shows. So what I might do is I go to the add new button that is there right on top. And when I select it, I get 3 options from which I choose the folder, add new folder, and this comes up. So here I would type the name of my folder, and here it is favorite TV shows. So I am getting some pictures here. I could scroll through, and depending on whichever picture I'm satisfied with, I might select it, select save to have my folder there. So let's go inside the favorite TV shows. And here I want to add a couple of icons. So first, let us add a single word that says Disney. So again, I go to the add new folder, and this time I choose the first option, which is add new word. And the word now is Disney. So I choose that. So again, I can choose from the options that are available and say save. So that gets saved under my favorite TV shows folder. Now that we've added a single word, let's see how to go about adding many words at the same time. So for that, I might have to choose the add new that is in the top row again. And here I choose the option many words at once. And when I'm adding many words at the same time, I have to make sure that I separate each word with a comma. So let's see, I want to add the words I, you, want, like, Donald Duck, Mickey, and I also want to add the phrase that it is too loud. So just in case we want the user to be able to say the TV volume is too loud, we want to have that phrase here. So I have added all these words and I have separated everything by a comma. So now I go ahead and hit save. So you can see that it is as easy as this to add many words at the same time. And another important feature is perhaps I want to have the layout in a different way. So maybe I want to have specific words in a different place. So how do I do this? I can go ahead and long press the word, and then I can shift it to the place where I want it to be. So I just long press all the nouns and I shift it to the end. And I might want to have the pronouns here in a particular place. So you can see that everything is color coded, and I can go ahead and change the places of the icons wherever I want. Suppose I am not very satisfied with the pictures of Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. Suppose I want to look for a better picture. So how do I do that? So I will go ahead and select the Donald Duck. And from the options above, I go ahead and hit change. And here, I go ahead and hit the word internet. So it is right next to the symbols. I go ahead and select internet. And here I have all the different pictures that I can from the internet. So once I'm satisfied with the picture that I want to choose, I can scroll with the scrolling buttons. Once I'm satisfied with whatever I want to choose, I go ahead and hit save. So you can see that I have an internet picture for Donald Duck. Let's do the same for Mickey as well. So we select Mickey, we choose change from the top row, and we go ahead and select the internet, which is right next to the symbols. We can scroll through the pictures, and when we are satisfied with the picture, we go ahead and say save. So those were some important features under the edit option. So one last thing that we might see here is, so when I'm done with edit, I might press done, and this is my folder. This is my folder. And suppose I want to take a low-tech printout. So I just want to take a printout of this folder. So what do I do? So I could go ahead and press the menu button again. And here we have, under the settings, we have tools. I would select the tools, and it is asking me whether I want to create an AVAZ book with favorite TV. So I say yes, and it has started, and it has created. Within a few seconds, it has created a PDF with of the particular folder. And this PDF, I could share it. I choose share, and from the various options that are available, I might want to share it with whomever I want to, or go ahead and take a printout as well. So this is how I would take a low-tech backup.
That was AVAZ demo. A very quick view of it. A detailed demo will be shared on the group soon. Let's quickly understand where AVAZ is used. We have about 10,000 users in India, and we have 100,000 users across the world. AVAZ again is in 6 Indian languages, and they are also available in lots of foreign languages. It's used across 100 countries around the world. As of now, we have, given about 1,000 plus devices in 32 districts in Tamil Nadu, and it's used across many special schools in India. You can get a free 14-day trial from Google Play Store. There are also subscriptions like monthly, annual, and lifetime. You can freely download it on any of the iPads, iPhones, Android phones, or Android tabs. Here are the list of languages which they are available on. Last but not the least, A few AAC guidelines which we should be very consciously looking about. We should presume competence, believe in your child that your child can do it. Sometimes you never know the child can do it until you see them do it. So give a very beautiful motivation, like be very motivated, help your child learn communication, have it as child-led as much as possible to achieve autonomous communication so that the child is independent to say whatever they want, however they want at any point of time. And not to forget, use a robust AAC so that you give them a lot of choices, lots of space and lots of words to choose from. As we always say, it is not one single user who can make magics. The entire society works along with it. Even for a small child, the entire society, we start talking, right? When the child is born, are you looking at Amma? Are you looking at Appa? So we keep talking to the child, right? The same way the parents, special educators, speech therapists, everyone works together with the child. Of course, AVAZ came up with lots of training programs, lots of awareness building initiatives, just like how today we are having this workshop. We have lots of webinars which we conduct. So there are lots of good people who want to build an awareness and help lots of children to acquire communication. We are also available on WhatsApp and Telegram groups and on Facebook to give you a visual support. We do one-on-one sessions, tele-AAC sessions, teletherapy sessions, and we have touched about 190 plus families as of today. We have done a lot of training programs and have touched about 1,000 professionals, and a lot of parents have been impacted due to that. So here are the numbers and the email ID which you can reach out to. You can, look at our webpage, avazapp.com. Drop in a message there if you want any information on AVAZ. You can look through the FAQs which are there on our webpage, which will help you understand everything in detail. You can also write to us at support@avazapp.com. I'm going to stop share now and go ahead and take a few questions more. Yes. So, I'm sorry, Gauri ma'am, we can't hear you. I think
So
you're on mute.
anybody who want to ask questions, you can post message or unmute and talk. So you have the experts here, you can make use of it.
We have one question from Malayarasi Rajendran. And she's asking if the stroke client is having only eye blink, means how can we help through it? You can use an eye tracker. You can use an eye gaze technology. iOS recently, from iOS 17 onwards, they have got eye tracker by default. You can set in technology to help them. You can use AVAZ for them for quick communication. Yes, that's very much possible now. Before a few months, we did come up with this eye gaze technology, which was imported from abroad, where people had to buy in that entire screen, and it was, set with AVAZ, where people could just look at and, calibrate their eyes and use it. But now, in iOS 17 and above, it's available on everybody's hand.
Yes, technology is coming up in a big way. And we
way,
need
true.
to know how much to use, what is okay and how much is okay. When we use it appropriately, it is beneficial.
Absolutely, yes. And it is also true that we were, at least children who were born in 80s were not born with technology, but children who are born in 2020 onwards or 2000 and onwards are born with that technology inbuilt. today there are no children in this world who say, I don't have a phone, I don't have a tab, I don't have a laptop. In the future, that also will not happen. Every child will have everything with them. So please remember that technology will never leave the child. If you think you can save them from technology in the future, then I'm very sorry. That's just a myth. Technology is a very major part of our life today.
So even the AI, whatever is coming up, to be more aware and knowing how we can use this.
Correct.
We commonly keep seeing parents coming and saying the child, even though they're not able to talk, they are still able to use the app, scroll and choose what they want.
Correct.
So why can't we kind of guide them and help them use this technology in a way they can move forward? That is the
Sure.
important thing.
Children who can't speak gradually, fight through even YouTube. They go to Google, find pictures. They tell parents. See, even that is one mode of communication to tell them that, yes, this is what we want. So that is also a mode of communication which they are trying to do, wherein you are giving them that privilege or power to choose unlimited context from Google. So why not choose it from one small limited space than giving them the entire set of words at one shot? So give them vocabulary, teach them language at individual pace. And she's also added saying that it's available only in US. No, ma'am, even in India it is available now. You can check through.
Okay. So probably if you're having difficulty finding it, they have put up their in the chat itself their contact details. You can be in touch with them and they can guide you further, ma'am.
Thank you, Asif. Thank you so much. I see you have added a uh, lot of things on the chat window. You have given them links to download it. You have even given them the user group link where they can join in, and even the numbers where they can call up and reach out to you and me. There are two links. One is AAC Primer, which is similar to what we saw today. There's also a detailed AVAZ AAC demo, which is there. So you can look at it and understand about each and every feature in detail. We still have a few minutes left. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
So in the meantime, can I ask Mabel to take a minute to talk about our vacancy in Astor Hospital?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, yes.
I would
Ma'am,
just
Ginny
like to
will
add.
do it.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry, Mabel. Hold a minute.
Yes.
Asif, you want to say something?
Just a very quick thing, all the participants, please also know that our support is also available in Kannada, Tamil, Hindi languages too. So yeah, so feel free to call us, text us, and we'll be more than happy to support you. Thank you.
So, Asif, one more thing. I think you mentioned there are several, it is available in several languages. Which are the languages it is available in?
6 Indian languages right now. So the entire app is in English, but we also have Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, we have Marathi and Hindi. So these 6 Indian languages are there. Apart from that, you can make use of the device keyboard and you can customize it in different other languages too. So for instance, if you want to add something in say Gujarati, so you can do that, right? Yeah, and it's a limited support in other languages that is available right now, but you can customize. So it's a very customizable app. You can make use of the device keyboard and add words.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Asif. Mabel, please go ahead. I think we are done. Thank you.
Okay. So I think Ginny will do it, right?
Hi, yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. everyone. I'm Ginny. I'm working as a speech therapist in Aster CMI Hospital. So, a very short announcement that we're looking for speech language pathologists to join us in our team. Just wanted to let you know and let you know about the opportunities that you will be getting here. So, I take up OPD and IP patients. We are taking care of children who are diagnosed with autism and GDD. We also get children who have speech sound disorders and swallowing and feeding disorders. So it's a great opportunity to work here. So anybody who is here, who is a speech therapist and willing to be a part of our team, we are a multidisciplinary team. So uh, we have different professionals. We are a team of speech therapists, occupational therapist, physiotherapist, ABA therapist, vision therapist. So we're taking care of all the needs of a child that a child requires. So anybody who's willing to be a part of our team, please contact the numbers that has been shared. And yeah.
Thank you very much, Ginny. That was very well put. So, if we don't have any further questions, Meghna, can we end the session for today?
Yes. Yeah, can I just take a minute if that's okay with you?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Brainchild Trust to give us an opportunity to speak about AVAZ today. Thank you so much, Gauri. Thank you so much, Meghna. And thank you so much, Apurva, for reaching out to us. We look forward to see lots of people use AVAZ, and we look forward to help everyone who reaches out to us.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. So, Meghna? You're on mute.
Shall I go ahead, ma'am?
Yes, please. Yeah.
On behalf of Brainchild Trust, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Lakshmi Kannan and Mr. Asif for not only sparing their valuable time, but for also enlightening us with this insightful talk on AAC and AVAZ. Their expertise has significantly enhanced our understanding, and it was truly incredible to witness through the videos how AVAZ has helped so many children not only to communicate, but also to reach their true and full potential. I would also like to thank Brainchild Trust for organizing this enlightening webinar. And last but not the least, I extend my sincere appreciation to all the participants for their valuable time and cooperation. Thank you all once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.